Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to episode 2 of Aqua Army Africa. My name is Major Gifty Gravity. In our former episode, I shared some information with you about fish farming and invited you to join the Aqua Army Africa. Since we came out, I have received some interesting responses from all across Africa. I am grateful. Keep the responses coming. And please be assured that all the issues you mentioned are being taken up seriously by our panel of experts, both in the forum and other media which are coming up shortly. I mentioned that fish farming is regarded as one of the most rewarding businesses globally, and that in Africa, fish farming offers an opportunity to make a major contribution to the production of our national fish and protein needs. In a part of the world where we import a considerable amount of fish due to our declining marine production, fish farming provides the opportunity to help reduce our expenditure of fish imports. And of course, fish farming contributes immensely to the health of our people because it provides the vital protein needs which will make our people healthy. Among young people in Ghana and Africa, fish farming is not very well known. Yet there are many opportunities for job creation and investment in the sector. My duty here is to share information with you that will enable you to take a bold decision to join the Aqua Army and become one of the increasing numbers of people making good money from the fish farming business. So let's continue our chat. Fish farming, as we said, is the process of raising fish in an enclosure, usually for profit. Fish may be raised in concrete, plastic, tarpaulin tanks, or in cages that's in rivers or in other water bodies. But farmers also usually hatch and grow their own fish. But most farmers buy also fingerlings from hatcheries and grow them to harvest size. The hatchery business is actually a technical field on its own, and I will advise that anyone entering into aquaculture starts by buying fingerlings. There are three main considerations for successful fish farming. These are the type and the quality of the enclosure, and the environment in which they are raised, the quality of the fish and feed. We will take these one by one, but before that, let me inform you that before you start building or constructing your pond, it is very much important to choose a site for your farm where the soil, water, and the environment conditions are very fine. You need an advice from an expert to determine that this particular location you are picking is suitable. You can contact the Fish Farmers Association in your country or region. Then you can also go to the ministries or departments responsible for the aquaculture in your region or district. Very soon, we will be sharing useful information for our Aqua Army Africa subscribers, and we will be organizing online events to share information. Further information will be provided shortly. In this episode, we will discuss the types of enclosures for farming fish, but let me emphasize that most people should actually consult the experts at the relevant fisheries or environmental agencies for help. The location and construction of your farm must satisfy the requirements of local agencies responsible for fisheries in the environment. This is to ensure, for example, that waste materials from your farm is properly disposed of so that it does not pose a health risk to your community. For now, we will discuss the types of ponds in general which are being used here in Africa. We will also discuss others in due course. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Chidom Shaninga. I'm from Zimbabwe. Keep watching Aqua Army Africa.
Welcome back. Let's start with the concrete pond. As the name implies, concrete ponds are built with the combination of cement, blocks, stones, iron rods, and sand. Construction of the pond must make it suitable for accommodating particular densities of fish and fitted with plumbing suitable for the effective management of water levels and quality. For the best result, concrete ponds must be built with the help of an expert. Earthen ponds. An earthen pond is an artificial enclosure, probably a reservoir or a lake constructed manually or mechanically to house fish in a manner in which resembles their natural habitat or aquatic environment. This form of pond is constructed in a site with enough clay soil to favor high water retention. For the best result, the construction of an earthen pond must be done with the assistance of an expert. Tarpaulin or plastic ponds. Tarpaulin and plastic ponds are flexible and can be used in locations where concrete or earthen ponds may not be suitable. They are flexible or mobile and they cost probably low, or I'll say the cost of deployment is lower. They must be installed with the assistance of an expert. After the types of enclosures, the next important consideration when starting a fish pond is the installation of an efficient plumbing and water supply system with the assistance of an expert. The water quality and temperature must be measured every day, and the water must be changed or renewed periodically to allow for the distribution of water to the pond and efficient disposal of the waste. And there must be a trained person permanently on hand to monitor water quality and temperature. I must mention that waste management is a part of biosecurity, which must be taken seriously by the farmer. The expert put in place an effective waste management system that enables the management of waste generated on the farm effectively. Fish farm waste is generally nutritious for plants. So a farmer with farming space can generate extra income by piping his or her wastewater down to vegetables or other crop plants. Sanitation, good storage of feed, and clean surroundings are aspects of biosecurity which must be planned and secured. The farm personnel must also be trained to manage the feeding of the fish. We will discuss the subject of feed in some details in episode 3. But let me mention for now that feed is a major aspect of fish farming, partly because it is the major determinant of the size and quality of the fish at harvest time, and also because feed expenses take up a sizable amount of the farmer's budget, and it is therefore important to manage the issue properly. The most feeding times must be recorded because they are part of the traceability record that will be required by the export market and even by organized local buyers. Before we draw down the curtains today, let's take a few words from one of Africa's prominent aquaculture specialists. Joining us online, we have Dickness Folake Ariola from Nigeria. Dickness Ariola is a retired federal director of fisheries, and she's recently been elected as president of the Africa region of the World Aquaculture Society. Welcome, Dickness.
Thank you so much, Major General. Aquaculture is very important to Africa, and we can see this from a number of standpoints. First, although Africa is well endowed with vast water, land resources, and an environment conducive for all year-round fish farming, she has not used the resources to produce enough fish for her populace. Unfortunately, the productions from the inland and marine environments are declining over the years, resulting in huge amounts of foreign exchange being used to import fish. Second, fish is an important source of protein, which keeps the human beings healthy, especially children, without which they will suffer from some nutritional diseases. short, aquaculture is a great provider of jobs. Many fish farm related jobs can be created, especially in the rural areas, which will help improve livelihood. Let me also mention that the fisheries and aquaculture industries employ a number of women, mostly in the processing and distribution chains. Women are major players in fish production through smoking, salting, drying, and even pastry production, which is mostly being done by women. I'm pleased to note that a number of leading fish farmers in Africa today are women. I'm on a facility that is owned by a woman who just retired from the civil service, the federal civil service in Nigeria. And so I'm proud to showcase her 2 tanks. Also, moreover, many of our young people, especially our graduates, who are mostly unemployed, can become wealthy through aquaculture. And finally, with increased aquaculture production instead of importation, we can export fish to earn foreign exchange. So we have to promote aquaculture as a matter of urgency in Africa. Africa must grow aquaculture. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Deaconess. Dear friends, we've come to the end of episode 2. Do meet me again in episode 3, where I will join you to take a giant step forward to become a wealthy member of the Aqua Army Africa. Please email your requests for further information to fishfarmafrica@gmail.com. Goodbye for now.